What do you mean? I'm not entirely human. Alex's voice quivered, caught between disbelief and anger. The fluorescent lights of the sterile office buzzed overhead, an annoying reminder of the reality surrounding them. Dr. Keller leaned back in her chair, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. Alex, I know this is difficult to process, but the results are conclusive. Your DNA shows markers that are not of this world. Alex's laugh was sharp and bitter. Not of this world? What is this? Some kind of elaborate prank? Did my coworkers put you up to this? Because I swear, if this is another office joke— This is no joke, Dr. Keller interrupted, her tone firm. I've been authorized to tell you the truth, Alex. You were part of a classified experiment. Your parents weren't your biological parents. You were engineered. The words hung in the air like a bad smell. Alex's stomach churned, and they gripped the edge of the desk to steady themselves. Engineered? By who? The government? Dr. Keller hesitated, her gaze dropping to the file in front of her. Partially. The project was a collaboration between human scientists and an extraterrestrial species. Alex blinked, the weight of the revelation pressing down like a vice. You're saying aliens made me? That's insane. It's not insane, Dr. Keller replied. It's reality. You've always known you were different, haven't you? The strange dreams, the heightened senses, the way you've always healed faster than normal. Those aren't coincidences. Alex's mind raced, flashes of childhood memories surfacing. The time they fell off the roof and walked away with barely a scratch, the strange symbols that sometimes danced in their vision when they closed their eyes, the inexplicable sense of knowing when danger was near. Why now? Alex demanded. Why tell me this now? Dr. Keller's expression darkened. Because the project's creators want you back. Both sides. The government wants to study you further, and the others want to reclaim what they see as theirs. Reclaim? Alex's voice rose. I'm not some object to be reclaimed. I'm a person. To them, you're more than that, Dr. Keller said softly. You're a key. To what? I don't know. But you need to understand, Alex, you're in danger. They'll stop at nothing to get to you. The room felt like it was closing in. Alex's breath quickened, their heart pounding in their chest. What am I supposed to do? Run? Hide? Fight? Dr. Keller reached into her desk drawer and pulled out a small device, no larger than a smartphone. This will help you. It's a tracker, but not for you. It'll help you detect them. Use it wisely. And trust no one. Alex stared at the device, their reflection distorted in its sleek, black surface. Trust no one. Got it. As Alex stepped out of the office, the weight of their newfound reality settled heavily on their shoulders. The bustling city streets outside seemed colder, less familiar. Every passerby felt like a potential threat. Every shadow seemed to harbor danger. Not entirely human, Alex whispered to themselves, the words tasting foreign and bitter. They clenched the tracker in their hand, a surge of determination washing over them. If they were going to survive, they needed answers. And fast. The hunt had begun. Alex's apartment felt different now. The once cozy space seemed too open, too vulnerable. They pulled the blinds shut and locked every door and window. The tracker sat on the coffee table, its dark screen reflecting the faint glow of the overhead light. All right, Alex muttered, pacing the room. Think. If this thing detects them, how do I even know what them looks like? Are they obvious? Or could they be anyone? The device buzzed suddenly, a soft vibration that sent a jolt through Alex's chest. They froze, staring at it. The screen lit up, displaying a faint, pulsing dot. It was close. Too close. Alex grabbed the tracker, their heart pounding. The dot moved, heading toward the building. No, 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 they whispered, backing away from the window. They grabbed their backpack, shoving essentials into it. A water bottle, a flashlight, a change of clothes. Their fingers trembled as they zipped it shut. A knock at the door made them jump. It was soft, almost polite, but it sent a wave of terror crashing over them. Alex, a voice called. It was familiar. Too familiar. It's me, Jenna. Are you home? Jenna, their best friend. The one person Alex had always trusted. But Dr. Keller's warning echoed in their mind. Trust no one. Go away, Alex called back, their voice shaking. I can't talk right now. Alex, please. Jenna's voice softened. I know what's going on. Let me help you. Alex's breath caught. What do you mean, you know? Just open the door. I'll explain everything, Jenna pleaded. The tracker buzzed again, the dot now stationary, right outside the apartment. Alex's grip tightened on it. Their instinct screamed at them to run, but their heart wavered. Could they really turn Jenna away? If you know what's going on, Alex said slowly, then tell me. Prove it. There was a long pause. Then Jenna's voice came again, quieter this time. They're coming for you, Alex. And if you don't let me in, they'll get to you first. Alex's blood ran cold. The tracker buzzed again, the dot multiplying into 2, then 3. More were coming. Time was running out. Damn it, Alex hissed, making a decision. They crossed the room and unlocked the door, pulling it open just enough to see Jenna's face. Her expression was serious, her eyes scanning the hallway. Pack your things, Jenna said, stepping inside quickly. We need to leave. Now. Alex hesitated, their mind racing. How do I know I can trust you? Jenna met their gaze, her voice steady. You don't. But if you stay here, you won't survive the night. The weight of her words sank in, and Alex nodded reluctantly. All right, let's go. As they stepped out into the night, the tracker buzzed incessantly, the dots converging. Alex tightened their grip on it, a newfound resolve hardening within them. They didn't know who to trust, but one thing was clear. They weren't going down without a fight. The cityscape blurred as Jenna led Alex through back alleys and hidden paths. The tracker continued to buzz intermittently, indicating their pursuers were close but not yet within striking distance. Jenna's movements were precise, almost practiced, as if she had been through this before. How do you know so much about them? Alex asked, their voice low. Jenna hesitated but didn't stop moving. Because I've been running from them too, Jenna admitted, glancing over her shoulder. You're not the only one they experimented on, Alex. There are others. Like us. Alex stumbled slightly, the revelation hitting them like a freight train. Others? How many? Enough to make them desperate, Jenna replied. Enough to make us dangerous. The tracker buzzed again, the dots closing in. Alex's heart raced as they followed Jenna through a narrow alley that opened into a hidden courtyard. Jenna stopped abruptly, pulling out a small device from her pocket. It looked similar to Alex's tracker but more advanced. She pressed a button, and a faint hum filled the air. What's that? Alex asked, watching as Jenna scanned the area. A disruptor, Jenna explained. It'll scramble their signals and buy us some time. But it won't last long. The hum grew louder before fading into silence. Jenna gestured for Alex to follow her into a dilapidated building at the edge of the courtyard. Inside, the air was damp and stale, but it felt safer than the open streets. Jenna locked the door behind them and turned to Alex. We need to talk. There's more you need to know. Alex crossed their arms, their gaze wary. Start talking. Jenna took a deep breath. The aliens who created us, they're not all on the same side. Some of them see us as tools, weapons to be used in their war. But there's another faction. They believe we're the key to something bigger, something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. And the government? Alex asked. Where do they fit into all of this? They're just as divided, Jenna said. Some want to use us for their own purposes. Others see us as a threat. Either way, we're caught in the middle. Alex ran a hand through their hair, frustration bubbling to the surface. So what are we supposed to do? Keep running forever? No, Jenna said firmly. We fight back, but we need to be smart about it. There's a network, other hybrids like us. They've been working in the shadows, gathering intel, preparing for this moment. Alex's eyes narrowed. Why haven't I heard about them before? Because they didn't know if they could trust you, Jenna admitted. But now, you don't have a choice. If we're going to survive, we need to stick together. The weight of Jenna's words settled heavily on Alex's shoulders. They had spent their entire life feeling out of place, different. Now, they finally understood why. But understanding didn't make the reality any easier to bear. What do we do next? Alex asked, their voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Jenna smiled faintly. We find the others. And then, we make them regret ever coming after us. The journey to find the network was treacherous, filled with close calls and narrow escapes. But with each step, Alex felt a growing sense of purpose. They weren't just running anymore. They were fighting for something bigger than themselves. When they finally reached the network's hidden base, Alex was struck by the sight of others like them, people who carried the same strange energy, the same unspoken burden. For the first time, Alex felt a glimmer of hope. Together, they began to unravel the truth about their origins and the larger conflict at play. The hybrids weren't just experiments. They were a bridge between two worlds, a potential solution to a war that had raged for centuries. As Alex trained alongside the others, honing their abilities and learning to harness the alien DNA within them, they realized that their journey was far from over. The government and the alien factions wouldn't stop hunting them. But Alex wasn't afraid anymore. They had found their purpose, and they were ready to fight for it. Months later, as Alex stood on the edge of a cliff overlooking the city, the tracker in their hand buzzed softly. They glanced at it, a determined smile crossing their face. The dots on the screen weren't a threat anymore. They were allies, moving into position for the next phase of their plan. Alex took a deep breath, the cool night air filling their lungs. They weren't just a pawn in someone else's game anymore. They were a force to be reckoned with, a spark of resistance in a world that desperately needed it. The hunt wasn't over. But this time, Alex was ready.